Again, fast and furious. I'm kind of long-winded, so I know that I want to break up this series into segments for you because I kind of ramble on. But I wanted to real quickly show you guys some things that I check out to make sure that a bow is in tune. I know that this Matthews Reason is not in tune, and some very simple ways that I can tell that are indeed what I'm fixing to show you. First thing you need to do, and I'll do this now, is you need to get a tape measure. So let me get my tape measure. Alright, so I've got a really nice tape measure here, just a nursing tape measure actually. I am a nurse if you haven't gotten that in the introduction video. But first thing I want to do is a lot of bow companies will place tuning marks on their cams. First off, any bow you get, if it's not in tune, is not really going to be a pleasure to shoot. Some bows really shoot. I had some bears that were out of tune and shot great. Some bows just completely get, a lot of hand vibration, a lot of accuracy issues, a lot of arrow flight issues if they're not in tune. So I know that this bow here, this Matthews Reason that I picked up on eBay, is indeed not in tune. There are three things. There are three things that I'm going to show you to detail how I know that it is not in tune. This bow is supposed to be 33 inches axle to axle, 33 and a quarter I believe, on Matthews' website. Now, you can measure axle to axle length to tell if a bow's in tune. You can measure brace height to tell if a bow's in tune. Simplest way though, if you don't want to get that detail, simplest way to tell, most bows have a tuning mark on the cam. I'm going to show you Matthews' tuning mark. So, you can see the cam. I'm trying to hold it straight on so you can kind of tell that it's not in tune. String, cables, and tuning mark right there where my thumb's going in that hole. That cable should be in the center of that tuning mark, center of that circle. And as you can see, it's just a little bit on line. Not too bad, but you can tell that you've had probably a little bit of string stretch, which is normal for any kind of bow. A little bit of string stretch, and this bow is not in tune. And so that is indeed the simplest way to tell if your bow is in tune or not in tune. Now I'm going to lower the camera so you can see the bow on the table. Kind of tell me working on it. Okay. Here we got a good picture there. Can't really see me anymore, but that's okay. I'm sure that just breaks your heart. Just kidding. Anyway, so the first thing that I want to do, if you use the cam orientation to tell whether or not the bow is in tune, great. But sometimes the bow can appear to be in tune via the cam orientation and actually be out of tune. And so I take things a little further, and I will measure the axle to axle length, which should meet the axle to axle length as prescribed by the bow company, and the brace height. Okay, ways to do that: just take a tape measure, make sure you're set your 0-inch line, your zero line in the middle of the cam, or in the middle of the cable. I'm sorry, in the middle of the cable. And this bow actually measures out to be 32 1/8 inch axle to axle. Well, I know that this bow is way out of tune because it's actually supposed to be 33 inches axle to axle. And so I'm going to have to do some work to this bow before it shoots the way it's supposed to. But indeed, the next thing you want to do is measure the brace height. And I'm doing that now. The brace height is the area from the back, the furthest point forward on the back of the grip to the string. And indeed, the brace height is actually 6.5 inches. So surprisingly enough, the bow doesn't appear to be out of tune that much if you just do one of these three. That's why I do all three. I measure the axle to axle length and the brace height. And so this is the next thing I do whenever I get a bow. Don't even shoot it. Don't even shoot it, because it's not, I buy and sell a lot of bows, and I keep the ones I like the most. That's how I kind of fund my bow habit, my bow addiction, my hunting addiction. But I don't even shoot these bows because I'm not going to get an accurate representation as to whether or not I like it or not, based upon whether or not it's in tune. It's not going to feel the same, like even the same bow, if it's not in tune as opposed to if it's in tune. So we will work on getting this bow in tune, and the next video will show, I'll detail a little bit about what I'm going to do to get the bow in tune. But that's the next thing I check out. This is part 3 of the series. Remember, part 1 was making sure, how to evaluate a bow that you might want to buy online. Part 2 is making sure the bow is safe to shoot. And part 3 is indeed the first thing that I look at in addition to safety. And that is the tuning of the bow and making sure that the bow is in tune. So, again, thanks for watching, and stay put for video number 4. It might come a little bit later because I do indeed have to press the bow, do some work to it, and make sure it's all in tune. But we'll get to that in a short amount of time. Like, subscribe, do whatever you want, comment, keep it clean on my comment line. And thanks for watching. Have a good day.